This is the Take the Throne Fantasy Football Podcast, where championships are built and fantasy kings are crowned. Hosted by Al King, Gabe Hernandez, Ray Fletcher. With producer Mike Four, we break down everything you need to dominate your league. Rankings, strategy, bold predictions, and the takes that will help you win your championship. If you're tired of finishing in the middle of the pack, it's time to step up. Because in fantasy football, you don't watch the throne, you take it.
Yo, what up? Another episode of Take the Throne Fantasy Football Podcast. I gotta get used to saying that.
Yeah,
Season 3, Episode 3. It's the three of us in the new space. Myself, Gabe, Ray, back in the building.
Back in the building. Here we
Been
are.
Been a minute.
For me, especially.
Especially you.
Yeah.
How, were you even for the first one?
I wasn't. It's my first time in here.
Oh, my lordy.
First episode for Season 3.
Yeah. No, I think I was on the...
Were you on episode 1?
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah. I
Okay,
think it was.
But it is the first one in the new space.
Yeah.
Post-free agency. You were there.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So we got a pretty stacked episode today. We're going to talk a little bit about draft recap since, as we were mentioning, Ray wasn't here for that. We just want to hear his thoughts, open up with some news and notes, then talk Dynasty League strategy. Ray's kind of the Dynasty League guy of the pod, I would say, over me and Gabe. He's done it for longer.
Well, he does, yeah. I'm just going to stand over here.
And then we're going to reveal our rankings, way too early rankings, right? Some would say, but quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end.
Never too early.
I knew you were going to say that. Teed him up, and he nailed it. So we'll kind of get it started, unless there's anything else you guys want to open up with before we get into news and notes.
Let's do it.
Handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Cannonball.
Wow, bringing it back.
I totally forgot.
I'm not sure it's going to leave.
It's been so long. It has to stay.
So I think we'll open news and notes with the draft recap. I mean, there is some news that we'll get to coming out of this, but we just kind of want to hear Ray's thoughts. You heard ours on the last episode. Ray, any NFL draft, not fantasy draft?
Well, all right,
takeaways?
yeah. So I did a little things I love, things I hated type of situation here. So I'll just start with the things I loved. First thing I loved was the amount of trades that went down during the draft. That was a lot of fun. Kept me engaged throughout the whole thing. And then some of the picks I loved, as much as it pains me to say it, Jadarian Price to the Seahawks. It was probably a really good move for them. I like that. With Walker gone and Charbonnet dealing with his injuries. I was a big fan of Carnell Tate to the Titans. I think he's got wide receiver 2 potential this year. I'm not saying draft him top 24, but there's a potential he can get up there. I love the Eagles trading up to get their guy, Mekhi Lemon. That was a smooth move for them.
They're welcome.
Yeah. I also, not really fantasy related, but I loved what the Cowboys did in the draft. They focused on their defense. The D. Winters trade I thought was a solid, smart pickup.
Thank you.
Not in love with it from a Niners fan perspective, but it was smart for the Cowboys.
We definitely appreciate it.
Yeah. Now things I hated or wasn't really a fan of. I didn't really care for the landing spot for Jeremiah Love. I thought, it's a little bit of a muddled backfield. They got him reports saying he's taking kickoff returns now, which I don't love. That's kind of rough there. I still think he's going to be the top rookie, but I would have liked a better landing spot for him. I absolutely hated the spot for Kenyon Sadiq with the Jets. I mean, they just spent a second rounder last year on Mason Taylor. I don't know that Geno Smith or Frank Reich, for that matter, can carry 2 tight ends fantasy-wise. And then the biggest thing I hated about the draft or the aftermath of the draft is just the whole reach thing. That I'm a Niners fan, obviously, so we got a lot of heat about reaching for our players, right?
I see where you're going with this.
Yeah. And I'm a firm believer that if you like your guy, go get your guy. Yeah. And I just don't understand when these draft experts became the end-all, be-all. Like, why is their rankings more important than the NFL teams' rankings? The teams putting together and drafting for their system, right? Mm-hmm. Your rankings can mean nothing to a team who runs a different type of offense or defense or whatnot. So
because it's Todd McShay and Mel Kiper.
Mel Kiper. Speaking of Mel Kiper, he's wrong more than he's right. You remember when he said the Lions should have taken Brady Quinn over Calvin Johnson?
Oh man!
Remember when he said Jimmy Clausen, if he's not a successful quarterback in 8 years, he's going to retire?
I was going to say, was he supposed to quit?
Yeah, he hasn't
done that. He said Julio Jones didn't have good enough hands for the Falcons to go up, trade up, and get him.
Wow.
He brought receipts.
Bro, he wrote all this down. That's
I did.
insane.
I did. But the point is, the teams evaluate these players on their own and put together their own boards. The experts boards mean nothing to these guys. So just giving them a terrible grade because you think they reached on certain players, I don't like it. Not necessarily saying Deshaun Stripling's going to be the best wide receiver in the draft or anything like that, but just like, let's give these guys some time. Like, come on. But yeah, that's how I felt about the draft.
Wow. Ray's thoughts.
I do agree with him on Mel Kiper. He's gotten terrible over
so
the
bad.
years.
Jahmyr Gibbs was a reach at 12. Like, come on.
I will agree with you on if that's your guy and he fits your scheme. We all see football differently, and there's 32 different teams that run 32 different schemes. So this guy might not fit the scheme, but he might be a better overall player. You know, I agree with you there. So, you know what I would love to see each team's rankings
That'd be
after
awesome.
the draft.
Yeah.
That would be, or like even like 5 years later, whatever, however you want to do it. But that would be awesome just to see curiosity, like where they rank people. So I agree with you there. I'm not mad at it.
I also think that you guys both agreed on players you loved with the Price and the Cardinal Tate. So interesting to see agreements between you two.
Well, Jeremiah Love too. We all said it was a crowded backfield.
Of course,
Yeah.
Yep, for sure. I mean, are we turning a new leaf? Are you two agreeing more? Is this a new thing
on
for
some
season
stuff.
3?
We'll see when we get to the rankings.
It's preseason. Guys,
true.
hold on.
It's not even preseason. It's May. Preseason.
Speaking of, I didn't introduce Mike Ford. Sorry, Mike Ford. How are you today?
Oh, dude. Oh, thanks for asking, man. I'm okay. Thanks, man.
Good. I'm happy you're here, Mike Ford. Helped set up before we even got in and everything. This new space is cool, and a lot of it has to do with Mike Ford, so shout out Mike Ford.
You.
Some more news and notes. Where do we want to start? There's a couple wide receivers. How about we start with the news that I believe dropped today? Rashee Rice violated his probation by testing positive for the dreaded THC. Ooh, bad stuff.
How dare you?
And got sentenced to 30 days. Now on 5 years probation, I was just reading. And then also had a knee surgery, but he won't be able to rehab while he's in jail, obviously. So
They work out in jail. It'll be fine.
right, correct. Yeah, they throw heavyweights around. They lift. So what does that do to his fantasy value now? Is it so early that it doesn't affect it? What's the vibe, Gabe?
I mean, as of now, I was rushing to because I have him top 10. You'll find out later. Spoiler alert. But I wanted to move him out my top 10, and just because there's just gonna be so many questions now. There's got to be another suspension coming, right? He's going to jail. Now we found out he has a knee injury that's gonna keep him out for 2 months. He's gonna go to prison. He's not gonna get the right medical field that he's not going to get the medicine. He's not going to get the rehab that he needs in those 30 days. So he might fall behind a little bit unless he gets special privilege, but we'll see. But right now he's a guy. Have you ever seen A Bronx Tale with Robert De Niro as a bus driver?
It's been a minute.
One of the greatest lines in that movie, and one of my favorite lines of any movie of all time, is you never want to waste talent. Wasted talent is like the biggest way. He's something like that. I don't have the quote off the top of my head. I should have looked it up. It just came to me as you were talking.
Okay.
Rashee Rice is going to be like one of those wasted talents kind of guy. Like so talented, good receiver.
Josh Gordon-esque.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Good call
But
out.
I think it's a wait and see. And I'll be honest, I wouldn't even look to draft him at the moment. And again, it's May. We have a couple more months, but everything's not looking good for him.
So if you have him in leagues, Dynasty leagues, you're still holding him, right?
I'm holding him, but I might be looking to trade him.
No.
Because he has to get suspended again, right? Like and I think the next step is a whole season. But I guess there's just so many question marks with him. So we'll find out.
Any thoughts, right?
Yeah, I don't love it. That's a tough situation. I had him top 10 as well, but yeah, with this news and it looming suspension, probably like it's hard to have any faith at all. I brought up Josh Gordon because I remember how long all the fantasy owners stuck by Josh Gordon, which, I get it. He was extremely talented, but one of my favorite sports saying is your best ability is availability. Yep. And if you're going to be suspended, you're not going to be playing, you're going to get hurt. Like, it's just, there's a point where you got to move on. And I think we're getting close to that if we're not there already.
Yep. Wow. My favorite quote, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. I just had to get it in there.
I like it.
Since we're throwing quotes.
Yeah.
Another wide receiver, A.J. Brown, traded to the Patriots. Supposedly. Reports it will go through after June 1 for contractual reasons and such. What does that do, and what are the Pats sending back? Why do I not know that off the top of my head? Do we know that?
Because it's not official.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right now, it's just a bunch of rumors. Everything makes it sound like the insiders, as they quote unquote call themselves, it's done. So we'll see what happens. I guess now I hear a new rumor that he was married last week, and Jalen Hurts may have been at the wedding. So is there really tension with the Philadelphia Eagles locker room? We'll find out. I still don't think you draft Mekhi Lemon in the first round to not trade away A.J. Brown, because you didn't really need a receiver at that point.
Right. Yeah, I think the writing was on the wall when they made that move. I'm reading, it seems like people are believing that they're going to receive at least one first-round draft pick.
I don't think that's going to happen. Like, I feel like the Patriots are the only ones in on this, and why give up a first when no one else is in on the deal? I also think curveball, Rashee Rice in some trouble. I mean, why wouldn't Kansas City take a look here to bring him in? Or, if we could get a Ayuk to Philly type situation, I'd be down for that too.
So you think that there's other teams that could sneak into the A.J. Brown sweepstakes, we'll call it?
I do, yeah. I think Jacksonville is also on the table.
The rumor is first-round pick, but next year's draft is loaded. Like, not even just like there's like 5 quarterbacks, and obviously right now Philly doesn't need one. But even with Jeremiah Smith, who's a generational wide receiver, the linemen and defense, like next year's draft is loaded. So I don't know if anyone's really looking to trade a first round pick next year, unless you get back a guy who you just know is a different kind of guy.
Right, which I'm not sure A.J. Brown is at this point, but we'll see. I mean, he's obviously incredibly talented. Aaron Rodgers returning to the Steelers, 1 year worth up to $25 million. We kind of expected that to happen.
At least it happened sooner this year than last year.
Right, so he's back. And then just a couple things we want to touch on before we have to get to our break. Mike Four had some funny things he wanted to share with us. Mike Four, what do you got?
Guys, I got some good stuff for you. So, I don't know if you saw in the rookie camp, Mendoza had a little helmet going on here. So I want to show you guys a little clip. What you guys' thoughts on that? Think that helmet's a little too small for him, or what?
Is it too snug?
A little too snug, dude.
I mean, they'll get the measurements right. They'll get it.
Okay, so that brought me back to other people that was like, hey, what other helmet? So it's either that, or I thought about this one too. Look, get on there, or we go a little too big.
Wow.
Can I ask you a quick question? Do you know anything about the protocol for NFL helmets?
No.
So do you know
he has to wear that? This
is the same helmet from when he was drafted.
Oh, I did know he had didn't he get upset because they wanted him to change a helmet or something?
Most people do not, especially quarterbacks, do not want to trade their helmets in, as they evolve. So this is actually a helmet from like 2005.
But since he's been drafted, they've made all these changes for concussion-wise, and they're cool with that?
Yeah, because, I mean, he doesn't want to change it. He's a quarterback, so maybe they allow it because he doesn't get hit like that too often.
Well, in the case that he does get hit, did you guys see the new Guardian caps, dude?
Yeah. No, are there new again? Oh,
dude, stop it!
Look at this thing, dude.
Stop
Look at this thing,
There's
dude.
no way.
You know what's messed up? That's my boy. That's my boy Romeo right there.
Romeo?
That's Romeo.
I mean, he does have like the biggest Guardian cap in the league.
Yeah.
Thought that was kind of funny.
That was funny.
And then, last but not least, dude, Trevor Lawrence got a little haircut.
Yeah, this is.
I don't think Gabe saw
this. Is going to be shocking to me.
Here we go.
Whoa.
Boom.
Whoa. If you're watching this on YouTube, you are seeing this photo of Trevor Lawrence with a haircut.
I feel like it's saying license and registration, please.
Yeah.
If he throws it up in a faux hawk, it gives me Tebow vibes.
Wow.
Can't call him Sunshine no more.
No, you can't. What happened to my sunshine?
He looks like a highway patrolman ready to pull me over.
Wow.
Holy crap.
That's crazy. Trevor Lawrence looks totally different. If you're watching on YouTube, you got to see it on the photo. We're going to take a quick break and on the other side reveal our rankings and Dynasty draft strategies.
You look like Squidward's house.
If you're rocking with the Take the Throne Fantasy Football Show every week, here's the best way to help us keep this thing growing. Head over to thronefantasyfootball.com/listen and click the support button. Not only does it help support the show, but you'll also unlock subscriber-only content like our weekly fantasy football newsletter, bonus insights, and more exclusive extras throughout the season. We're building a real fantasy football community here, and we'd love to have you be part of it. Visit thronefantasyfootball.com/listen and hit support today.
All right, so this is the one where Gabe said he's going to take a timeout, and Ray is going to do the whole segment.
All about the whole segment. All right.
Do your thing.
No, kidding. This is going to be the Dynasty League draft prep. What goes into it? What do we think? What are your philosophies? Are you looking at best player available? Are you looking at your positions of need? Are you looking to maybe draft someone that you can trade later, knowing that teams need X, Y, or Z position, so you take, multiple of that position? And then we're going to show one of the drafts that I've already completed in a Dynasty League to just kind of chop it up about that. So, Ray, we'll let you kick off your philosophy.
Yeah, sure. So for me, I mean, it's generally going to be best player available. But I'm also a huge proponent of trading my picks. I feel like you can get more value for your picks than you can pick up in the rookie draft. Maybe long-term, I mean, obviously if you're in the top 5, maybe first half of the first round, it's hard to move off those picks. I get it, but people are willing to overpay to get up and get a guy who's got all the hype on him right now. So I'm more than willing to do that. But outside of that, I am looking to take the best player available. And I'll just give you an instance from one of my drafts I did already. I was sitting at 1-9, drafted Omar Cooper of the Jets. Y'all know how I feel about Geno Smith. I got an immediate offer after I made the pick for Cam Scatterbo for Omar Cooper. I smash accepted. So,
Wow.
Yeah, because, they want the young guy. They want this guy who's going to be on their team for a decade.
Yeah.
It never works out that way. These players never stay on your team that long. So if you can get value that you can use this year in a dynasty draft, I'm all for that.
Real quick, I will say I did my first dynasty last year. We went the league we all started, and that was my first draft. And I'll be honest, looking back at it now, I definitely went for long term. I was like, okay, who can I draft here that's good, but also long term? And if I could go back, if I ever started a new dynasty ever, I'm just going to draft the best player. I'll worry about, revamping my team later. I did learn that the hard way. I definitely was more in the GM mode and okay, I want this guy for 10 years. Nah, just draft the best player.
Yeah, because these guys are going to change teams. They're going to not make the squad. There's so much that can happen. So, I mean, if you're getting the best player or getting players that can help you this year, that's what you want to do. Don't plan for 3 years from now. Plan for now.
And real quick before we get into your draft, real quick, just real quick answer, one word answer. Who would you take first in this draft, Love or Mendoza, if you're in a super flex?
I'm taking Love.
Love.
Perfect.
Yep. Love all the way around.
Last question. If you're pick 5, just out of curiosity, who would you pick?
That's oddly specific.
You're probably looking at a receiver there.
So we're trading it, is what you're saying.
If
we're
going
gonna
to
work a trade,
possibly, yeah.
Mike 4, we're gonna work a trade.
Look, someone will be excited for Mekhi Lemon or Jordan Tyson or one of those guys that's going to be sitting there at 5. If you can entice a productive receiver that put up 1,000 yards last year, I would make the move.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, no, it's for sure what Ray said about you can trade your draft pick out to get a guy who's already proven, maybe 3rd or 4th year guy, right, who's not exceptional, but is going to be better than the rookie you're drafting probably for the next 3 to 4 years because he's already done it for a while. It's not a bad idea to trade out of your picks.
Well, especially at receiver, because we always talk about wide receivers breaking out in year 3. So you're drafting a first-round wide receiver, not going to be able to use them till year 3.
Yeah.
I like to trade those picks away.
Mike 4, I know someone who would want that 5th pick. It's not me. It's not me.
It'd be crazy to get someone of that caliber if we're talking about the player that I'm thinking we're talking about.
It's not just going to be for that.
Yeah, for sure. He'd need
gonna
more.
want more.
For sure.
Yeah,
well, so let's take a look at that draft that we talked about that I already did. And you'll see I had 1-1 because I sucked last year in this league. And I did take Jeremiah Love, like we all said. Mendoza went 2, Carnell Tate 3, Jalen Tyson 4, and then this one's a shock. Sorry, Jordan Tyson
Your
4,
guy?
my guy.
Wow.
And then this one is a shock. Kenyon Sadiq went 5th.
I mean, I guess it depends if he needed a tight end.
He did.
And Sadiq I will say this, he's an athlete, and he's talented. I understand the Jets, it's scared of that in Geno Smith, but Kenyon Sadiq, he can be a good player.
But if you look, he ended up taking 2 other tight ends as well. He definitely needed tight ends.
Yeah.
And then 6, we went
Mekhi
Lemon, Omar Cooper, and ended with Jadarian Price. So Jadarian Price on the back end of the first round. You guys both liked his landing spot.
I'm shocked by that.
Too early?
No, too late.
Too late.
Okay.
Yeah, I would have taken him before these 3: Sadiq, Lemon, Cooper. I would have probably taken Jadarian Price.
I agree.
I don't think we necessarily need to talk about rounds 2 through 5, but what stood out to you guys in the first round? I mean, was that pretty pat
Jadarian
besides
Price.
the price?
I think Jadarian Price is the obvious pick right there.
Yeah.
I understand long term he might not be the guy because they have Charbonnet, but he's going to start the season as the starter, and you never know. Who knows? If he comes out and runs for 100 yards straight in 8 games, he might just be the starting running back.
Yeah, I think I also like this Eli Stowers, the first pick of the second round. He went to the Eagles, and I think Goddard is kind of a fading talent. I don't know if I want to say fading, I guess, but he definitely – I think Stowers is going to see the playing field, especially if A.J. Brown leaves, right?
Yeah.
But they did bring in Mackay as well.
Yeah, and tight ends are hard to predict unless you're Brock Bowers. They generally aren't going to be great in year one.
Yeah. Mendoza, number 2 overall.
I was actually just going to point out Mendoza and Ty Simpson. That guy can be pretty good in 5 years with those 2 quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm. He's usually in dead last every year in that league, and I somehow passed him this year. So, but are we liking Tate over Tyson? Are you going in that order on wide receivers?
I am personally. Yeah, I like Tate a little better. I like his landing spot. They don't have a ton of weapons there. I think he's going to be a good asset for Cam Ward.
I'm gonna agree with that, and you know what sways me even more to kind of, I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm probably gonna jump on the Tennessee bandwagon a little bit. Do you know who the OC is?
No.
Brian Daboll.
Oh, that's right. No, that's right. Yeah,
I love me some Brian Daboll.
He's a good offensive play caller.
I think he can turn that offense around, and he can turn Cam Ward into a good starter.
I mean, look what he did with Jackson Dart, right?
And Josh Allen.
Yeah, I think that's a good call, Gabe.
And Daniel Jones.
Damn it. It's too early in the year to give you good calls.
We can edit it out.
Okay. Yeah.
No, it's usually what happens, you know.
No, great call for sure. Dayball in Tennessee is very interesting.
Very.
What's a perfect fit with Robert Saleh being there as a head coach?
Yeah.
Not an offensive guru.
Defensive guy.
Yeah, he's a stud defensive guy. Bring in someone who knows how to run an offense and has had success running an offense.
Probably be like a Ram situation. McVay doesn't even touch the defense. Whoever the coordinator is, it's yours.
That's the move.
He just might have a couple inputs. Other than that, it's probably Dayball's
and that's
offense.
what he had in San Francisco, right? Yep. Like Robert Saleh, you take care of the defense. Yep. I'm gonna take care of the rest, says Kyle.
Ray, is there any sneaky sleeper rookie draft picks that you are kind of eyeballing? Not so much from this draft, but just overall, right? Like guys we didn't mention in round 1.
I like Malachi Fields.
Okay.
I think he's in a good spot, and he's not getting a ton of hype at the moment. So that's someone you can definitely get later.
Yeah, it looks like he went round 3, pick 5 in this draft we're looking at. So that's pretty deep in the draft.
I'm also curious to see how the Steelers' backup quarterback situation plays out because I do like Drew Aller.
Yeah.
But they still got Will Howard, they still got Mason Rudolph. But if he can win that backup job, I'd be on board with having him as well.
Drew Aller went round 4, pick 8 in this draft. Anyone that jumps out to you for a late round sleeper type guy?
Katron Allen from Penn State to Washington. That running back situation is not the greatest, and so I kind of look for running backs have the possibility to eventually jump this. I'm not saying he's going to start the season, but because obviously they have Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, but we saw that Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt wasn't always the guy last year, so I think there's going to be an opportunity for him. And he's a solid running back at Penn State, nothing special, but he has some ability. He's a bigger guy.
As soon as you said running back Washington, I said, "Are you dogging my guy Bill?"
Yeah,
you dogging my guy Bill, and then you proceeded to dog my guy Bill.
I've been on that bandwagon since day one. You guys love him. I hate him. I'm not a big fan.
I know you have. Katron Allen went round 3, pick 2 in that draft. One that kind of jumps out to me is, honestly, and it's the last guy that I took, is Carson Beck.
Okay.
Because what if Jacoby doesn't work out as well as we expect, right?
He's holding out right now.
Correct, he is. Mm-hmm. What if all Carson Beck does is come in and usually is efficient? I mean, it's only been in college football, but he could be a guy that if he's efficient at the NFL level, they can gain trust in. He's kind of old, right?
Yeah.
He's an aged rookie.
Yeah.
Those aged quarterbacks, experienced quarterbacks generally do well.
Right, like Tyler Shuck last year.
Bo Nix.
Yep. Yeah. So that one is sneaky to me, and I was able to get him in the 6th 6th round, first pick. So.
That's kind of crazy because for me, he's at worst quarterback 3 in this draft. You know, you can make the argument for quarterback 2 over Ty Simpson, depending on how you like or who you like. But I definitely would, at the worst, put Carson Beck as quarterback 3 in this Dynasty draft.
Yeah, Garrett Nussmeier and Drew Aller both went before him.
Crazy. Well, Drew Aller, okay, I guess you can make the argument for that too
Yep.
because he might have a future. But
Mobile.
Nussmeier's kind of crazy because you got Mahomes there, and
Right.
Good luck.
I mean, that's a dynasty play, maybe, you know, long hold. I don't know how many more years Mahomes has. But, yeah, I get it. I don't think I wouldn't have drafted him.
Yeah.
But are you going to be able to keep him on your bench
No,
for
no.
5 seasons?
No, not at all.
You know, that's tough.
Yeah.
Over Carson Beck.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that.
And then one more that stood out to me since we're talking quarterbacks is Taylon Green. He was the quarterback at Arkansas. Freaky athlete, transferred from Boise State. I think they may change his position. So that's an interesting, I'm going to draft him as a quarterback. You know, there's 17,000 quarterbacks on the Browns roster, but Shador won't change his position. Gabriel won't change his position. Watson won't. So I think if Taylon Green finds the field in other ways, you can have a dual eligibility guy. So
yeah, I'll be honest, I don't know a whole lot about him. I just know that Cleveland's quarterback situation is not the greatest. But if he can switch to a receiver, Terrell Pryor kind of situation, maybe, that would be awesome. And then you might have a sneaky receiver. Usually quarterbacks go to receivers. There's no other position they can switch to. I would love to see Shador and Deshaun Watson at receiver just to laugh. Not because I think they could succeed. I would just like a good laugh. That would be great.
that would be great.
So, but yeah, that's something to keep your eye on then.
Speaking of Shador, how about Prime, his father, doing Depends commercials? Anyone?
I mean, whatever pays the bills, bro.
Listen, I shot a text to the coach that I know on his staff and said, no, don't tell me coach is actually using Depends. He said, by God, he is. I said, no way. So he really uses them.
You just airing that out?
I aired it out. Dirty laundry,
Bro,
baby.
the commercial showed up, and I was like, ow.
Mhm.
There ain't no way this dude's a spokesperson. And then he reached out to his connect and was like, yep.
He's
got
That's
him.
crazy.
He sure is.
Hey, man, get that money.
Go get that money, Prime.
You might not be getting it from Colorado anytime soon. So,
Whoa.
my bad. Sorry.
All right, we're going to transition out of that, and we're going to go into rankings after this break. We're going to see our quarterbacks and running backs.
Let's do it.
Want to put your business in front of passionate fantasy football fans all season long? Advertise with the Take the Throne Fantasy Football Show and connect directly with a growing sports audience every single week. From live reads to custom partnerships, we'll help get your brand in the game. For pricing and more information, reach out to Al at thronedigitalmarketing.com today, and let's build something big together.
All right, well, we're back. We're going to go right into our rankings, quarterbacks and running backs. You'll see it on the screen if you're watching on YouTube. Our graphics will show up. They're pretty sharp. Shout out our graphic designer.
Yeah.
Crushed it.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Very good job.
crushed it.
I love him.
We'll start with Gabe since Gabe has the crown next to him on the graphic. That's why Gabe loves them.
Yeah.
Go ahead and just kind of hammer out your top 10, Gabe, and then pick one that you want to talk about.
Well, real quick, I'll go. Number 1, Victor Wembanyama. Oh, sorry, wrong podcast. Sorry, I had to give a shout out to my Spurs. Sorry, I had to wear the shirt in there. No one knows. No one said anything so far, so I had to do a little joke. Sorry, but no, let me say this real quick. In all seriousness, it's May. These are preliminary rankings. These are not going to be final rankings come draft time. We have the right to change our mind, change our guys. News come out, injuries happen. Definitely things are going to happen. I'll say for me, I kind of regret not putting Justin Herbert a little higher. I totally spaced that Mike McDaniel is now the OC there. So I love that for him. So he's going to probably move up a couple spots for me. I think I noticed is our top 5 is pretty unanimous. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Caleb Williams, and Jaden Daniels. You guys have Drake May a little higher than me. I will say I have Drake May ranked at 6 due to the A.J. Brown news. Now, if A.J. Brown doesn't go there, I'm probably going to put him a little lower. But I noticed, too, no Kyler Murray for you guys. And then one other thing that caught my eye, Jalen Hurts. I'm probably lowest on Jalen Hurts out of you guys. But me and Ray are pretty much right there.
Josh Allen, unanimous number 1.
Hands down.
Pretty obvious. If you look on the graphic, you'll see we have a 4th name, Evan. He's been writing our booms and busts every week on thronefantasyfootball.com, so I wanted to include him in the rankings, and you'll see consensus as well. You can find these rankings on thronefantasyfootball.com as you see it on the screen, and then we'll have articles up that will auto-update throughout the year when we update our rankings, which in the offseason, once a month?
I usually, for me, my practice is I'll do another rankings in June, do another one in July, and then August I'll do it weekly.
Yep, perfect. So we'll start doing updated rankings every week. But Josh Allen, unanimous number 1. Lamar Jackson, 2, 2, 2, and 3. So all three of us have him at 2. Burrow, all of us at 3. Drake May is where Ray and I are higher than you, like you said. Mm-hmm. And you're high on Caleb.
Yep, I love Caleb.
What stands out to you, Ray, of the top 10 or 15 even?
I mean, Evan having Stafford at 2 was kind of a surprise for me.
He finished 1 last year.
I get it. But, that's a tough thing to repeat for him, I think. I'm definitely lower on Caleb Williams than both of you, which is fine. I like Jaden Daniels this year. I got him at 5, which Gabe agrees.
Can he stay healthy? Can Jaden Daniels avoid the bug?
I'm also surprised at how far down Trevor has fallen for you, Mr. Lawrence.
My guy.
Yeah.
Well, he cut his hair.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
He cut his hair.
And then 7, Jalen Hurts at 7s.
You just love you some Jalen Hurts.
I do, man. I can't get off of that Jalen Hurts train. Pause. But it's a guy that has all the ability. I think last year the OC was just atrocious. And so I think he's going to improve drastically. I mean, last year we were talking top 5 for him, right?
Yeah, that was going into
top
the
4
season.
even, really. Most places.
I was one that was hesitant because of the new OC. But, yes, you were definitely higher on him. And I think I still had him at like 5 or 6.
Yeah, and I think – yeah, T-Law at 13. Now that you pointed that out, Ray, I'm going to have to adjust.
Like, it's preliminary. We're going to change. These are going to change very drastically, I'm sure. Like, I wanted to put, like, guys like Jackson Dart higher, but I just didn't know if I should, And then you look at the list, you're like, I will say this, my quick note. If you don't get Josh Allen in, like, the 3rd round this year, wait. Wait on your quarterback.
Okay.
Yes, because even like a guy like Lamar, we still don't know. New coach. New system. We don't know what it's going to look like necessarily. Burrow, he's great, but he's always hurt. That offensive line, they did upgrade a little bit. But, there's question marks after that. I will say Josh Allen's probably the only one I don't have a question mark on. I love it. Love the situation. They hired his OC as the new head coach, so nothing's really going to change. They bring in a weapon in DJ Moore. So everyone else after that has questions, though. So if you don't get Josh Allen in that first 3 rounds, I would wait until 8th, 9th, 10th round.
I did want to shout out Evan for putting Brock Purdy higher than I did. I was surprised anyone did that. So that's a good one right there.
And then one more thing before we move on to our running backs. All 4 of us have Dak Prescott in the top 10, which I don't think that was a thing last year. I think he was right outside of top 10 for most people. Did you have him in top 10? I think I did personally.
I would have to review, but I feel like one of us did.
I think it was me.
Yeah, because you were high.
I was super high on CeeDee Lamb too, remember?
And I said he could.
Mm-hmm. But Evan at 5 is nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, not nuts.
Listen,
like,
I don't want to throw him under the bus too much because I don't know him.
Yep.
And I've never met him.
Yep.
I definitely appreciate all the work he does.
Yeah, Evan.
Evan, your rankings are kind of wild. I won't lie, but you know what? I'll say this. I love it.
Yeah.
I don't want basic. Everyone agree. I love this. So do your thing, Evan, and stand on your throne.
Caleb Williams at 12. That's why you're mad at him.
Yeah, that was kind of ridiculous. I need an explanation for that one.
Let's get into our running backs. We did top 40 running backs. So we'll go through 1 through 20 first and see if we get to the back half before we go into our break. I'm a little shocked at the top of the list for us. Ray, we'll start with you on the running backs.
Please
but
do.
Yeah, give me your top, I guess, rattle off your top 10, top 15.
Well, if this wasn't organized in order, but like I'll just point out some of the ones that are a little different. I have JT Jonathan Taylor at number 1. I know that was a shock. You commented on that when you saw it, but I get it. Bijan is awesome, so I can see him going 1. I have no problem with that. Same with Jahmyr Gibbs, but I just think Jonathan Taylor, man, he's going to win you 3 games this season on his own. He's going to put up 3 touchdowns, 45 fantasy points, and you're going to cruise to a victory. So I really like that. I like that we all had Josh Jacobs still up right there, 8-9 area. That was pretty cool. And I'm higher on Ashton Genty than I think anyone else is.
Yeah, you have the Raider fandom a little bit, even though you're not supposed to. As a Niner guy, but
I'm the last person that's a Raider fan. But like, I just think that they made some improvements. I think they have a quarterback who can threaten the defenses now, right? Like
Kirk.
Yes, Kirk.
Okay, yep.
And possibly Fernando Mendoza
right.
when that happens.
Yep.
I didn't think they had that last year. They didn't have the offensive line. I have zero faith in Geno Smith. You guys are very aware of that. So I do think Ashton Genty has a better season. And I got Chase Brown at 9, who you have at 18, which is kind of a big discrepancy there.
Yeah,
Chase Brown
sure.
at 9. Wow.
Yeah, top 10 for Chase Brown is. I mean, I understand why.
Yeah,
he's going to be a focal point of that offense again, right? So I get it, but he was just such a letdown last year until he wasn't, right?
Right.
Yeah, when you turn it on the back end. I thought it was interesting that none of us have a unanimous a number 1 overall for the running backs.
That's crazy.
We got McCaffrey at 3 though.
Yeah,
we all. Yeah, there you go.
But we have Gibbs for me at 1, Bijan at 1 for Gabe, Gibbs for Evan at 1, and then Jonathan Taylor at 1. It's
a little all over the place.
That is all over the place. Mike Ford, who would you put number 1 overall running back?
I probably would go either Jonathan Taylor or Bijan Robinson.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, see?
But I'm leaning more towards Jonathan Taylor.
Wow.
Let's go.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, a bit all over the place. So last year, everyone was kind of like, what was it, Saquon? A lot of people were like, oh, easy number 1, easy number 1. There isn't that this year. Just like with the quarterbacks, there was with Josh Allen. But that kind of struck me when I was looking at this initially.
I'm surprised no one said anything about my ranking of Saquon.
I was getting there.
Okay.
I was being patient.
Go ahead. Give us a little rundown of your thing.
I'm definitely higher on Saquon than you guys are. I think they get back to running the ball. I think getting rid of A.J. Brown is a big plus for Saquon because they're going to focus on running the ball and getting him the ball. He's going to be the playmaker now in this offense, and I think they get back to it. And here's the thing. I love getting players off a bad year who I know are still talented because they're going to come at a discount. Like I might be able to get Saquon in the middle to end of this first round, and I would love that. So I have him number 4 right now. I'm not mad if you put Jonathan Taylor ahead of him because I have Jonathan Taylor at 5. I think that's as low as I would go at the moment for Saquon is probably 5th. But I think he does have a bounce back, and I still think the talent is there, and I don't think it was all him last year.
No, I mean, going back to the Jalen Hurts part, the OC was just terrible. I think he ruined the whole offense, Saquon included. So, you have him at 13, has him all the way down to 7 on our list for consensus.
Yeah, I just want to give you a couple of quick stats on him, or not stats, but nuggets here. Yards before contact dropped significantly last year from the year prior. He was 23rd in the year. In the league last year. He was also under 2 yards after contact, which is not good.
Right.
And his explosive runs have dropped significantly as well. So, there's just a lot there. Jalen Hurts still steals touchdowns at the goal line.
Yep.
So there's a little worry. What do you have? 5-6 touchdowns last year.
So I will say they went away from the tush push a little bit. I mean, not as much, but it was definitely dropped down in percentage-wise last year.
Yeah. So I know that I'm not drafting him this year, so I drop him on my rankings personally because I don't want the temptation to be like, he did burn me last year, so I don't want the temptation to be like, I want to take him here. He's just out. He's out for me, essentially.
One more note before we have to go to break. We're not going to get to our back end of running backs. We can just show it on the screen before we get to break. But Jeremiah Love out of the top 10 for all of us. Last year, Genty, the first drafted running back, was way up on everyone's board. Is that just a little bit of
course correction?
Yeah, a little course correction happening. So I thought that was interesting.
Well, I have him at 11.
Yeah.
I still am. I have them the highest, and I do love me some Jeremiah Love. But a little bit of hesitancy because I don't know what's going to happen in Arizona. If Jacoby Brissett holds out, it's not great for him either. So we'll see. He could move up because I have Ashton Genty at 10, and I actually did battle between those two back and forth a little bit. So I think for me, my top 9, those guys are going to be in the top 9 no matter what. I'm not going to change much there. after that, I can see some changes here and there going forward.
But certainly not taking Jeremiah Love in the first round of redraft drafts.
Probably not, no.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, actually, definitely not, no.
We're going to take a quick break. On the other side, we will have wide receivers and tight ends.
If you're rocking with the Take the Throne Fantasy Football Show every week, here's the best way to help us keep this thing growing. Head over to thronefantasyfootball.com/listen and click the support button. Not only does it help support the show, but you'll also unlock subscriber-only content like our weekly fantasy football newsletter, bonus insights, and more exclusive extras throughout the season. We're building a real fantasy football community here, and we'd love to have you be part of it. Visit thronefantasyfootball.com/listen and hit support today.
Well, now we're going to go into some controversial takes, maybe. With wide receivers and tight end, there's a lot of them to rank. Gabe, we'll let you kick off wide receivers. Almost unanimous number one overall. Gabe, what do you got?
Yeah, I want to make the joke a little bit, but as long as he's out of rehab by the time the season starts, he's number one. Absolutely. And listen, it's a little interesting because me and you have JSN at 2. Ray has him at 3, but he has Jamar Chase. So our top 3
Very
are the
aligned.
same, and even even down to top 6. I think that's where it gets a little interesting. I think your top 6, in whatever order you want to do: Puka, Chase, JSN, CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra, Justin Jefferson. Those are your top 6.
Yep.
And then I would argue 5 of those guys should be in the first round. So it's going to be an interesting first round draft. I think you could have 7 running backs, 5 receivers, or you could do 6-6. 6 running backs, 6 receivers. So if you're in a 12-man league, obviously alters if 10-man league. But I do like the first 5 receivers to go in the first round for sure.
Wow.
My probably biggest take and who I'm highest on is Tetaroa. I have him at 7 right after that. I really like how he is just utilized in this offense, and I think it's only going to get better with him and Bryce Young. He would have been a top 10 wide receiver last year if he had the touchdowns. I do think he can get a couple more touchdowns this year. He's still the number one option. They don't really have much else after him, so he's still going to get targets. He's still going to be that guy, and I think he's only going to get better. I think he really improved. Like, he really shocked me, like how good he was. Because I'll be honest, I wasn't too high on him coming out the draft. I liked Matthew Golden a little better, but Tetaroa, he convinced me. He's a top 10 receiver, and I have him at 7.
I love Tetaroa McMillan.
Yeah.
Can't call him Tet. Can we call him T-Mac? I don't know.
Call him T-Mac. T-Mac's okay.
Yeah, love T-Mac. I think he's a stud. I have him at 9, so he's in my top 10 as well. Evan at 10. Ray's the only one where he's out of the top 10.
I think he'll be in top 10 now after Rashee Rice news. So
we all do have Rashee Rice 10, and probably going to alter that.
Yeah.
For sure. How far down does Rashee Rice fall?
Significant for me. Like,
Really?
he's going to be in the Saquon boat where I just don't want any part of him, so he's going to be
pull him
down.
I'll be honest. I might just not even rank him.
Really?
At this moment.
So, like, would you go lower than – I'm just scrolling down this list here. Would you pull him out of the top 20? If you're not even ranking him, then yes, obviously. But would you pull him out of the top 20 under Devontae Adams, T. Higgins' range?
Yes. Yeah, I would.
I think
he might be below Mike Evans for me, too.
Can you scroll back down for me real quick? I think for me, the conversation would, like, if you want me to squeeze him in somewhere, it'd probably be after, like, the Cortland Sutton. Like, in that area. But I could put him above Alec Pierce, fine. Brian Thomas, I might still want him over Rashee Rice. So it gets, for me, there. Because the thing that, it's not the talent. It's now you have Rashee Rice, and if you get him late, now you feel like you have to start him. And you don't know what's going on with it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you have to keep him on your team. So
Yep. And you dealt with this last year with Rashee Rice.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, the first 6 weeks or whatever it was, he was out. And when he came back, he was solid.
He was great in the beginning.
For sure.
And then he just
kind of
fell
faded
off.
a little bit, yeah.
And you feel like you have to start him, though.
Right, correct. I see you over here looking up Alec Pierce.
Yeah, I'm just curious why he's so low in your rankings. I mean, he had a solid season, 1,000 yards last year, 6 touchdowns. They got rid of Michael Pittman. I'm just curious why you have him at 39, which, I got him significantly higher
You got
than
him at
that.
28, Evan at 27.
For me, I just don't know if he's the number one. And then also, I have questions about Daniel Jones.
Okay.
I don't know what the health status. Now, again, these can change.
Absolutely.
If I get Daniel Jones news that he's on course to play the start of the season, cool. I might move him up a couple spots. But for me, and again, I with Michael Pittman gone, Alec Pierce is number one.
That's what I'm saying.
And you got paid, was it 4
You got a
years?
fat deal.
$100 million?
Yeah, something like that.
I'm gonna be honest. That worries me a little bit because I don't know if he can live up to that. I don't know if he's that guy. I need to say. For me, he's just a downfield threat. He's like a Jameson Williams for me. So
I don't recall Jameson Williams ever being that far down in rankings.
I had him that far
Really?
last year. And again, we'll see what happens. I just don't love.
Well, here's their other options: Nick Westbrook-Akine. We excited about that?
No.
Josh Downs.
I do like some Josh Downs, but I'm not excited about him.
I just feel like that he's the primary option. I mean, obviously outside of Tyler Warren, who we'll get to, but
Right.
We just had such a significant difference. I was curious about that.
Like I'll say, I have like guys like Matthew Golden ahead of him, and I love me some Matthew Golden. I do think he kind of started getting better towards the end of the season last year. I see like a Michael Pittman Jr., who I actually think I think Pittsburgh's gonna have a good offense with Mike McCarthy there. Carnell Tate, I'd rather take the chance on a rookie, and like I said, Brian Daboll. So there's some things there that I like more than I like Alec Pierce at the moment. But listen, I've been wrong before, but I'm just not the biggest Alec Pierce. I just don't think he's a number one.
He might be a board riser though. That's a good call out of you, Ray, because I have him as low as 34, and even Gabe was like, he is the wide receiver 1 in Indy right now.
Yeah.
So I think it hinges a lot on the health of Danny Dimes.
Yeah, and you don't have Pittman was there to catch the underneath stuff, get all of the targets. So now you don't have that. Does Alec Pierce find more of a role there as well? Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. It was just a big difference. So I was curious.
If you remember last year, I loved the Indianapolis offense. I was preaching them. I was like, I love this offense. This year, I don't know if I love it now.
Okay. You know who I'm shocked and I want to talk about, and I don't know why I want to talk about him? He's 16, 15, 14, 17 across the board for us. I'm higher on Marvin Harrison Jr., Maserati Marv this year than I have been maybe ever. And I don't know why. It's just like a weird feeling.
He looked good with Jacoby.
Right. So I could see him finishing in the top 10 this year. That's my first, stand on the throne call. Way early. But, yeah, Maserati Marv in the top 10. For whatever reason.
Two things real quick. I will say Malik Neighbors is someone that we all have pretty same. If I get good reports, he's boosting up there behind Justin Jefferson.
Oh, yeah.
I'll probably put him at 7.
He's an elite level
6.
talent.
Yeah, if I hear good things going into draft season, he's going up for sure. For me, he's a big draft riser. I'm actually look at where we all have Drake London. You guys only have
shocked you had him at 15. That's awesome.
I was gonna say we're not that far apart on Drake London, guys.
15, yeah.
So who's right?
Well,
he's not number one.
I honestly, if Tua starts, I like London again this year, right? Okay. But it's hard. He has his injury issues, right? We all know now at this point. And then it's hard with the quarterbacks there, Tua and Penix.
I might talk myself into Marvin now over Drake. No, you might talk me into it a little bit. But I think that's Drake, as far as I go.
I have Drake 1 over.
Yeah.
Just like you do on Marvin.
I might switch that. But, yeah, no, I've always said I like him. I just don't think he's a number 1. That's all.
And then someone I want to point out in the 21 to 40, if we want to show the second half of the graphic really quick before we move on to tight ends, is – why did I lose it? Oh, Emeka Egbuka. With Mike Evans gone. The opportunity is there for him, and he's proven to be good at this level, right? So it's really just Chris Godwin he's competing with for targets. I mean, if you Cade Otton, whatever, Tez Johnson, those guys. But I think Egbuka could be another one. I have him 27, which is almost high. So you got him at 26. Yeah. I could see him flying up the board too. Early rankings.
Can you find my number 29 wide receiver? Just real quick. Hopefully it will
Chris
be
Godwin.
Quick. Yep. So I have Godwin 29 and Egbuka 30. For me, at the end of the season, Egbuka disappeared, and Godwin was becoming more of that guy.
Sure.
So I do have a little bit of concern with Egbuka. I think he's very talented. I think maybe he hit a rookie wall, and hopefully he turns it around. But I do have some questions there about Egbuka.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely questions. I think he's a very talented player, and he's going to get more opportunities, I think, this year. Full season of off-season conditioning. Hopefully, doesn't run into that wall towards the end of the season. But Baker likes to throw the ball, and I'm here for it. I think Egbuka is going to have a solid season.
Your rankings with Egbuka and Godwin aren't too far apart either.
Correct.
Yeah, 31.
Yep.
Compared to 27.
Yep, they're not too far apart. I mean, it's going to be similar to we had Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill a lot of times, right? Like those types of guys where it's almost like who do you think's going to be better?
Right.
And if you think it's that guy over that guy, then take that guy, right?
I love me some Chris Godwin. I think he's awesome.
Big fan of Chris Godwin.
Yeah, no,
for sure.
he's a elite level talent as well. Let's slide over to the tight ends, and Gabe, we'll let you kick this off because yours. I mean, your 1, 2, 3 are pretty standard.
Look, guys, I don't like to boast very often, but I like to think I'm the tight end whisperer. These last 2 years, I've been pretty solid on my tight end calls. Can I get an amen?
Yeah, amen. Yeah.
Thank you. 2 years ago,
He said no.
I said Sam Laporta. He's not going to be that number. Everyone had him like number 1 because he had 13 touchdowns. I said no. Last year, I said Brock Bowers. Be very wary of Brock Bowers. He got hurt, and Geno Smith and Chip Kelly. It just did not work. I like to think of myself as this tight end, guys. Tyler Warren. I know everyone loved Tyler Warren, but I was on that bandwagon before everyone. I want to make a note of that. This year, I'll say this. The top 3, love them. It's kind of the same thing with, like I said, Josh Allen earlier. Trey McBride, Brock Bowers, Tyler Warren. If you can get those guys, I would say top 5 rounds. I'm not saying take Trey McBride or Brock Bowers like 2nd or 3rd round like last year, but like maybe in that 4th or 5th round, you can get those guys. If you don't, wait. Because after that, it's just like potential. You know, like Tucker Kraft up here, we have all 4. I have him at 4. You guys have him at 5. And then I have Colston Loveland at 5. You guys have Loveland at 4. Those are guys with potential. And Tucker Kraft's coming off an injury. And then it again gets like the old veterans. Like we got Kelsey down there. We got Dalton Kincaid. We got guys like Sam Laporta, who's been a Kyle Pitts. Those are like the old veterans. So you have some potential in the beginning, in the middle, and then at the end, it's kind of like guys that – we just know have been around and just whatever. Laporta
at 12.
Yeah, man.
For Ray.
Yeah.
That's a big discrepancy amongst us.
Yeah.
6'6", 12'6".
Yeah, he killed me last year. Not a fan.
Okay, so it's a personal burn.
Yeah.
That okay, understood. Kelsey, 12, 10, 10, 12. I could see him finishing outside the top 15. I have him in my top 10 right now.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the wall may be this year, right?
I don't know, man. Like, I want to think that, but then I think back at, like, Antonio Gates and how he made his career, and I feel like Kelsey can do that, run 5 yards, turn around, catch the ball, you got a touchdown. Like, he's very effective at that short-range stuff. He doesn't have the speed he once had. But I think he could still be an effective player, and he could, as easily as he could finish outside the top 15, he could finish inside the top 5, I think.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I might even move him up after Rashee Rice news now.
True.
Yeah.
Didn't even factor that. That news is too new for me to put into my head. Yep. Tyler Warren, number 1 overall for me. I just wanted to be bold on the tight ends.
And I'm not mad at it.
But, again, Danny Dimes' health for sure. But Brock Bowers at 2 across the board, -7. Evan has him at 1. I don't know. The top, like you said, top 3, you're drafting early. After that, you wait. And I'm not an early tight end drafter generally, so I probably won't end up with any of these guys.
I probably won't either, but but I will say this: Brock Bowers is starting to creep him out. You know, every year I get that feeling on tight end, like just someone who I think is gonna be
tight end whisperer.
The tight end whisperer, guys. Brock Bowers, I think, is gonna have a great season this year.
Yeah, I'm on board with that. I know I'm going to end up with way too much Kyle Pitts this year. I can tell you that.
Aren't we all?
Yeah.
Your guy Hale's fanning too.
I think everybody's sleeping on Kyle Pitts, dude. I think that is the
Not me.
low. You have Colston Loveland over Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what? You know the stats on Loveland, right?
Yeah, they're not. But he's a second-year tight end.
You know they're not good though, right?
But he's a second-year tight end, and they got rid of DJ Moore.
He could be a third-year and fourth-year tight end.
Do you know what his stats were at the end of the year?
Okay.
I'm just saying he came on and he was a rookie. So I mean those are things to look forward to.
I'm just saying like that's the one. Everything else is good.
The thing is for
I don't know.
The thing for me is consistency from Loveland was there way more than consistency from Pitts. Pitts exploded. Remember he had that one game in the fantasy playoffs, I think, right? He won some people.
First week,
he had that one game that made him, I think he finished in the top 5 of tight ends last year because of like 2 weeks out of the year.
You may not even started him that way. And we don't know the quarterback.
Right.
You know, there's and then we don't know his connection with Tua. Tua could be I don't really have a good history with Tua and tight ends. I mean, the one year, blinking on the name, the guy, Jonnu Smith, that was it. Other than that, but he was more of a, and then he wasn't even in that year, right?
What
that
a
was
flash
actually
in the pan.
No, that wasn't that the year Tua got hurt. That was his concussion year, right? Where Jonnu blew up.
That's a good question. I can't remember. My brain is starting to mush up on us.
So Tua, for me, doesn't have great history with tight ends.
Well, Atlanta's offensive coordinator, Tommy Rees, is a tight ends coach. So maybe that is something that can help him.
Okay, look at us trying to find spin Kyle Pitts positive.
Hey,
look at us.
Any excuse I can make for Kyle Pitts.
Us.
Let's go.
He's an athletic freak for sure.
Yeah,
no, for sure.
I'm curious to see what happens with George Kittle when he comes, if he comes back in time for us to make adjustments to the rankings, or if that's going to be after the draft, after we all draft. We'll see.
Yeah,
I called it when it happened. I said, I think he's done, unfortunately, and I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong.
Hope you're wrong too,
because I love me some George Kittle. But
everyone does. I don't know how people are not fans of George Kittle.
He's just great.
That injury, that age. I'm just, again, I hope I'm wrong. That's usually what history tells us.
On the cart, he looked really devastated.
He looked good at the OKC game yesterday.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I saw him at WrestleMania. He looked pretty good too. He grabbed a chair, so he looked pretty good. Dude.
Okay, all right. I hope he comes back. I hope he comes back strong.
Hilarious.
Well, you can find these rankings and other things on our website, thrownfantasyfootball.com. The rankings will be up soon. It's only May. Relax, everybody. But they'll be up soon. Like I said, we'll have an overall rankings article, and then Gabe is going to put out some individual rankings articles. Ray might, I might, Mike 4 might, Evan probably will.
I won't.
Evan's the writer of the group so far, but Gabe's going to get some more content up there, and just, keep checking in, throwingfantasyfootball.com, and we hope to see you on that site more.
Absolutely.
Drive people there.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, I got some time right now, so we'll get some content out.
Yeah. Ray, are you going to do some content?
We shall see.
Okay. Stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
And then do we want to plug next month's episode, or we're going to do it, right? Well,
yeah, so we have another episode next month. We'll talk about what we want to do. Early thoughts are
I already know.
way too early mock draft.
Yes, sir.
That's the early thoughts.
Down.
So that's probably what we'll do next month in June, date pending. And then we are going to hopefully find some partnerships in the future and make our way on more channels other than just YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. So stay tuned for that as well. Thank you, everyone, again for watching. And until next time, peace.